Today, we've got something really exciting to talk about, the 2017 D-Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Now, hold on to your seats because this penny might just be worth a lot more than you think. We're talking about a coin that could potentially be worth $1.7 million. Yes, you heard me right, $1.7 million. So, if you have one of these pennies lying around, this could be your golden ticket. Let's dive in. All right, let's start with the basics. The Lincoln 1-cent penny, first minted in 1909, has been one of the most collected and recognized coins in American history. But today, we're focusing on a specific year, 2017, the D-Mint Mark edition. Now, you're probably thinking, how could a penny from 2017 be worth anything more than just 1 cent? Well, this is where it gets interesting. At first glance, this penny might look just like any other, right? But what sets the 2017 D-Mint Mark apart is a huge factor that a lot of people miss. A key error that occurred during production. This error is the key to its immense value. And trust me, you don't want to miss this. In 2017, something very strange happened at the Denver Mint. A small number of pennies were struck with a unique error, where the D-Mint mark, which stands for the Denver Mint, was doubled, creating what is known as a double die error. This error happens when the coin dies are misaligned during the minting process, causing the mint mark to appear twice, making it super rare. And when I say rare, I mean extremely rare. Here's a closer look at what you're looking for. You can see that the D-Mint mark appears doubled, not just a normal stamp. This is a classic sign of the error. When this happens, the coin becomes an instant collectible, highly sought after by collectors and investors alike. Now, how do you identify a 2017 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny that's worth a fortune? Here's the trick. Get yourself a magnifying glass and take a really close look at the D-Mint mark. If you see it looking like it's been struck twice, you've found yourself a gem. A doubled mint mark is the key feature you're hunting for. As more people discover this error, the market value of these coins has skyrocketed. A penny that was once worth just 1 cent can now be worth thousands. In fact, one of these 2017 D-Mint Mark double die error pennies recently sold for over $1.7 million at an auction. That's right, over $1 million for a now. I know what you're probably thinking. Could I have one of these rare coins in my collection? Well, it's not just about luck. It's about knowing what to look for and understanding how to sell it. If you find a 2017 D-Mint Mark penny with a double die error, you're sitting on a potential gold mine. If you think you have one of these rare pennies, here's what you need to do. First, authenticate it. You can take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to get it graded and certified. This will help you determine its exact value and make sure it's the real deal. Once it's authenticated, you can list it on trusted auction sites like eBay, or even bring it to a coin dealer who specializes in rare coins. Now, let's talk about your chances. Remember, not all 2017 D pennies will have the double die error. It's rare, but if you do find one, you're in for a big payday. The key is to stay vigilant and keep an eye on your change. That penny you almost tossed out could be worth a lot more than you think. And this isn't the only rare coin to keep an eye out for. There are plenty of other pennies, quarters, and even nickels out there with errors that could make you a lot of money. So if you're into coin collecting, keep learning, keep searching, and keep looking for those rare finds. If you enjoyed today's video and want more tips on how to spot rare coins and their market values, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And, of course, leave a comment down below if you've ever found a rare coin yourself or if you plan on checking your change more closely. I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting for those rare coins. I'm about to reveal something that could change your entire perspective on your coin collection, especially if you've got a 1998 P-Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. You won't believe the value it could hold. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's dive right into it. All right, let's start by talking about the 1998 P-Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Normally, when we think of a penny, we think of a small, insignificant coin, right? Not exactly. Most pennies are worth 1 cent, just like you'd expect. But there's a very rare version of the 1998 P-Mint Mark Lincoln penny that could be worth millions. Yes, you heard that right, millions. The P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, which is where the coin was struck. For most years, pennies are minted in Philadelphia, but the mint mark was left off for many years. The 1998 P Mint mark penny, however, has something special about it that makes it a true treasure for coin collectors. What makes this penny so special? Well, it all comes down to an error, one that most people would overlook. In 1998, there was a significant mistake at the Philadelphia Mint. Some of the 1998 pennies were struck with a double die. That's a type of minting error where the coin's design is stamped twice, causing it to appear as if the image or text is doubled. It's not obvious to the naked eye, but with a close inspection, the signs are clear. Now, you might be wondering, why is this error so valuable? Well, double die coins are rare, and collectors pay top dollar for them. The 1998 P Mint Mark Lincoln penny with this error is one of the most sought-after pennies in the coin collecting world today. Now, let's talk about the big question. How much is this rare coin worth? As of recent estimates, a 1998 P double die Lincoln penny can fetch anywhere between $500 and $1,800 depending on its condition. But here's where things get really interesting. There's one known example that was sold at auction for $1.8 million. Yes, you heard me right. A single penny, with the right error, can be worth up to $1.8 million. Now, let me emphasize, not every 1998 P Mint mark penny will be worth millions, but if you've got one with that double die error, you might be sitting on a small fortune. So, how do you know if you've got one? Let's take a closer look at the signs. Here's how you can check if your 1998 P penny has that double die error. First, focus on the most prominent areas of the coin: the date and the word liberty on the front, and e pluribus unum on the reverse. Look closely at the year 1998. If you see a doubling effect, where the numbers look slightly shifted or blurry, that's the first sign of a double die error. Do the same for the word liberty and look for any sort of double stamping on the letters. The more pronounced the doubling, the more valuable the coin. Alright, so let's say you've just found a 1998 P Mint mark penny, and it shows signs of the double die error. What do you do next? First, don't just spend it or throw it in a jar with all your other change. Get it properly assessed by a professional numismatist or coin dealer. You can also take it to a reputable auction house that specializes in rare coins. Some of these auctions can bring in big bucks, especially if the coin is in great condition. Getting your penny professionally graded is crucial because it affects its market value. Coins that are certified by organizations like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, are more likely to sell for top dollar. Grading the coin is essentially confirming its authenticity and condition, which can make all the difference in the price you'll get. Now, whether you're looking to sell your 1998 P penny or just exploring the world of coin collecting, here are a few quick tips to keep in mind. 1. Preserve your coins properly. Store them in acid-free holders or sleeves to prevent damage. 2. Know your coins, research before selling, and don't rush the process. 3. Consult an expert. Always get a professional opinion if you think you've found something rare. Remember, even if you don't have a $1.8 million penny on your hands, you could still have something valuable. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, so keep looking through that change. Thanks for tuning in today. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more videos on rare coins and collectibles. Have you found any rare pennies? Drop a comment below and let us know what you've got. Today, we're diving into one of the most exciting and rare finds in modern coin collecting: the 1995 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, which, believe it or not, could be worth up to $1.5 million. Yep, you heard that right. Stick around as we explore how to spot these hidden gems and potentially cash in on your collection. Before we dive into the value of the 1995 D penny, let's first talk about what makes this coin so special. The Lincoln 1-cent penny was first introduced in 1909, and since then, it's been one of the most widely circulated coins in the United States. But not all pennies are created equal. Most of the coins you'll come across are pretty standard, but a select few are incredibly rare. So, let's talk about this particular coin. The 1995 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny was produced at the Denver Mint and features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse with the familiar E pluribus unum and Liberty inscriptions. The reverse shows the iconic Lincoln Memorial, with United States of America and 1 cent printed on it. At first glance, it seems like just another penny, right? But hold on, because here's where it gets interesting. Now, what makes the 1995 D penny so valuable? Well, it's all about a minting error. You see, during production in 1995, a small number of pennies were mistakenly struck with a doubled die. This error occurs when the coin is struck more than once, causing a doubled image of the design. But what's unique about the 1995 D penny is that it wasn't just any doubled die. It was a huge error. As you can see, the double die error is very noticeable on the lettering, like the word Liberty, where the letters appear more than once. The date, 1995, also shows a clear doubling, and even the D Mint mark is affected. This error makes the coin incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. So how much could your 1995 D penny be worth? Well, if you're lucky enough to find one of these rare double die pennies, you might just be sitting on a gold mine. In fact, some of these coins have sold for up to $1.5 million at auction. I know it sounds unbelievable, but it's true. In 2004, a 1995 D double die penny was sold for a staggering $1.5 million. But, and this is important, not every 1995 D penny will fetch that kind of money. The condition of the coin, how clear the doubling is, and the overall rarity all factor into the value. A well-preserved coin with a clear doubling on the lettering will obviously be worth much more than one that's worn down. So, before you get too excited, let's talk about how you can figure out if your penny is the real deal. First things first, inspect your coin closely. Grab a magnifying glass or a loupe, because you'll need to look for the subtle signs of doubling. The most common areas to check are the words Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 1995. Here's where you'll see the most noticeable doubling if it's the real deal. Look at the L and I in Liberty, and you'll notice a faint second image to the right of each letter. The same goes for the date where the 9, 5, and even the mint mark D could show up as doubled images. Second, check the overall condition of your penny. A coin that's in great shape with little wear will be worth much more than a well-worn penny. But don't worry too much if yours is a little worn down. It still might be worth something, just not as much as a pristine one. If you've got a 1995 D double die penny in your collection, or if you think you might have found one, you're probably wondering, where can I sell this thing for a great price? Well, there are a few places you can go. First, you can always check out reputable coin dealers in your area or online. These experts can appraise your coin and tell you its value. Another option is to list it on online auction sites like eBay, where rare coins often go for big bucks. Just make sure to have a professional confirm its authenticity first. So, here's the bottom line. If you've got a 1995 D penny that's showing some double die action, you could be holding a serious treasure in your hands. The key is to inspect your coins carefully and seek out a professional opinion if you think you've found something valuable. And that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed learning about the 1995 D penny and want more tips on how to spot rare and valuable coins, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. And hey, keep searching your change. You never know when you might come across a rare gem worth a small fortune. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, fellow collectors. Happy hunting! Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare coins, specifically the 1992 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, which could be worth up to $1.2 million. Stick around because this could be the start of something big for you and your collection. Now, you might be thinking, how could a penny be worth $1 million? Well, you're not alone. Most people don't know that certain pennies, especially ones from the 1990s, can be surprisingly valuable. But first, let's talk about the basics of the 1992 D Lincoln cent and why it's generating so much buzz in the coin market. To start with, the D in the mint mark refers to the Denver Mint, where the coin was produced. This penny was struck in 1992, a year when millions of coins were minted. However, There's one very specific and rare version of the 1992D penny that stands out from the rest. It's known as the 1992D close AM penny. You see, most 1992D pennies have the wide AM design, where the letters A and M, in America, are spaced apart. But a very limited number of these coins were made with the close AM design, where the letters are nearly touching. This tiny difference could mean the difference between a penny worth a few cents and one worth hundreds of thousands, or even $1 million. So how can you tell if you've got a 1992D close AM penny? Great question. The trick is to look closely at the reverse side of the coin, right under the America label. You want to see if the A and the M are touching. If they are, congratulations, you've got one of the rarest pennies ever minted. Here's the key. The regular 1992D penny with the wide AM is common and can only get you a few cents at best. But the rare close AM version? It's the one that's been selling at auction for mind-blowing prices. In fact, one of these pennies recently sold for over $1.2 million. That's no exaggeration. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. How do I know if my 1992D penny is a close AM or a wide AM? Well, don't worry. It's easier than you might think. All you need is a magnifying glass or a high-resolution camera to zoom in on the AM in America. Take your time and carefully examine the letters. If they are separated, you've got the common wide AM version. If they are nearly touching, then you've got the elusive close AM variety. And that's where the magic happens. Now let's talk value. If you do find that you've got a 1992D close AM penny, you might want to get it graded by a professional coin grading service. Grading services like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, will assess the condition of your coin and give it a grade, which can significantly impact its value. A coin in excellent condition, like an MS-67 or MS-68, can skyrocket in value. Coins with high grades have sold for record-breaking prices, so it's definitely worth getting an expert opinion. But remember, condition matters, so make sure your coin is well preserved. So you've found your 1992D close AM penny, and it's in great condition. What next? How do you sell it and maximize your profit? Your best bet is to sell through reputable auction houses or online platforms that specialize in rare coins, like eBay or heritage auctions. These platforms attract serious collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for rare pieces like the 1992D close AM penny. You'll want to set a fair reserve price, so do your research first and know the market value. And always remember, selling a rare coin like this takes time and effort, but the payoff could be huge. To wrap things up, if you have a 1992D penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look at it, check if it's a close AM variety, and you might be holding on to a small fortune. With the right knowledge, a little bit of luck, and a professional grading, you could turn that penny into $1 million opportunity. So, check your change, dig through your old coin jars, and who knows, you might just find a coin that changes your life. Thanks for watching, and if you've got a rare coin to share or questions, drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more coin tips and tricks. Happy collecting! Fade out to the channel logo with upbeat music. Today, we're diving into one specific coin that's been making headlines and turning heads in the coin world. The 1990p Lincoln 1-cent penny. But here's the kicker. This penny has been selling for as much as $1.1 million. Yes, you heard that right. So, stay tuned as we break down how this penny went from pocket change to $1 million gem. Let's start with the basics. The Lincoln 1-cent penny. Most of us have seen this coin countless times. It's been in circulation for over a century. The 1990 penny, minted in Philadelphia, doesn't seem too special at first glance. After all, it's not like the rare 1943 copper penny or the 1909 SVDB penny, right? But here's where things get interesting. Typically, a 1990 penny would be worth just, well, a penny. In fact, the vast majority of these pennies, minted at the Philadelphia Mint, indicated by the P mint mark, aren't worth anything beyond their face value. But there's a rare, nearly 1 in a million error that makes this particular penny extraordinarily valuable. So what's the big deal about the 1990p penny? Well, in some of these coins, there was a minting error that went unnoticed for years. What happened was this. Some of the pennies that were struck at the Philadelphia Mint had an unusual error in the design. Normally, the penny has a perfectly aligned die, with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on one side and a clean design on the reverse. But in certain cases, some of these pennies had a double die error. This means the image on the die was struck twice, creating a blurry, doubled effect on the lettering and Lincoln's portrait. You can see it in the details. The Liberty and In God We Trust letters appear blurry or doubled, and Lincoln's portrait seems a bit more distorted than usual. This rare mistake means these pennies are far more valuable than their counterparts. Now, if you find one of these in your pocket change, you're sitting on a potential gold mine. So, how much could your 1990p Lincoln penny actually be worth? Well, a typical 1990p penny in good condition will only fetch you around 1 cent, as we mentioned earlier. But if you've got one with that doubling error, you might be looking at a completely different price tag. In fact, a coin with a significant double die error recently sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. That's right, $1.1 million for a single penny. So, if you have a 1990p penny with the right error, it's not just your average change. It's a treasure. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, how do I find out if my 1990p penny has this error? Well, I've got you covered. Let's go over how to spot this elusive double die error. First, take a good, close look at the Liberty and In God We Trust inscriptions. Do you see any doubling? Is the text blurry or split in any way? That's the first clue. Next, focus on Abraham Lincoln's face. In the case of the double die error, his features may seem a bit off, as if they've been struck more than once. This might be hard to see with the naked eye, so I recommend using a magnifying tool or even a jeweler's loupe to inspect it carefully. While the double die 1990p penny is definitely the most famous, it's not the only valuable 1990 coin out there. In fact, some other 1990 pennies, while not as valuable as the double die error, can still be worth more than face value depending on their condition. If your penny is uncirculated, meaning it's in mint condition with no visible wear, it could still be worth a few dollars. And if it's graded highly by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, it could even be worth $5, $10, or more. But remember, that double die error is what takes this coin's value into the stratosphere. So, let's say you've got one of these rare coins sitting around. What should you do next? Well, the first step is to get your coin professionally graded and authenticated. This helps prove that your penny is the real deal, which is critical if you plan to sell it for top dollar. There are a few reputable grading services like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, that can grade your coin. Once your penny is graded, you can take it to a coin dealer, list it in an auction, or even sell it directly through online marketplaces like eBay. Before we wrap up, I want to give you some important advice. While it's exciting to think about selling $1 million coin, be cautious of scams. There are plenty of fake, rare coins out there, and some unscrupulous people might try to take advantage of your excitement. Always make sure you're dealing with reputable dealers and always get your coin authenticated before you make any transactions. The last thing you want is to get taken for a ride by a scammer. So, there you have it. The 1990p Lincoln 1-cent penny, with its rare double die error, is one of the most valuable pennies on the market today. Who knows, you might have one hiding in your collection right now, just waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more coin tips, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin yourself. Today, we're going to talk about a coin that could be sitting right in your pocket, worth way more than just a penny. That's right, folks, we're talking about the 1989 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny, and its jaw-dropping value that has collectors and coin enthusiasts absolutely buzzing. So, whether you're in your 30s, 50s, or even 70s, if you've got any of these coins, you might be sitting on a small fortune. Now, let's start with the basics. This right here is your standard Lincoln penny. You know, the one with Abraham Lincoln's face on the front and the famous 1 cent engraving on the back. But not all pennies are created equal. The 1989 D mint mark penny is an interesting one because, while most of these coins are worth just 1 cent, there's a special version out there that's worth far more than you might expect. In 1989, the US Mint struck millions of pennies, but only a very small number of these coins ended up with a rare and highly sought-after error. These are the pennies that are causing such a buzz in the numismatic community today. So, what makes the 1989 D Lincoln penny so special? Well, it all comes down to a minting error. In some of these pennies, there was an issue with the D mint mark, which is the small d on the front of the penny, near Abraham Lincoln's shoulder. Instead of being crisp and clean, this mint mark became unusually bold and over-etched. When this mint error occurred, it produced a very noticeable double or blurry D mint mark. This subtle flaw makes these pennies extremely rare, so rare, in fact, that some of these 1989 D pennies have been known to sell for over $1 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.9 million for a single penny. Now, you might be thinking, how do I know if I've got one of these $1 million pennies in my collection? Well, it's all about inspecting the D mint mark carefully. Let me show you what you need to look for. First, grab a magnifying glass, or even just look under a bright light. You want to check the D mint mark, the telltale sign of the 1989 D penny. In a regular 1989 D penny, the mint mark is clear, neat, and small. But in the rare error penny, the D will appear doubled or over-etched. It might look blurry or even have an extra outline. If you spot this type of mint error on your 1989 D penny, then congratulations, you've got a coin that could potentially be worth thousands or even millions, depending on its condition. So why is this error penny worth so much? The answer lies in rarity and demand. Coins with mint errors are highly sought after by collectors. The more unique the error, the more valuable the coin becomes. But here's the kicker. This particular 1989 D error penny is extremely rare. Only a handful of these coins exist in such great condition. Coins with similar minting errors have fetched astronomical prices in recent years. The demand is simply through the roof, and as a result, these pennies have become a must-have for serious coin collectors. Now, if you think you might have one of these valuable 1989 D error pennies, you're probably wondering, what should you do next? Step 1 is to get it verified. You want to make sure it's genuinely a mint error and not just a regular penny. For this, I recommend reaching out to a professional coin grader or a reputable coin dealer who can authenticate the penny for you. Once verified, you'll need to determine its condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. The better the condition, the higher the value. So, if your 1989 D penny is in mint condition, you could be looking at a serious payday. Alright, now that you know you've got a rare 1989 D penny, the big question is, where can you sell it for top dollar? There are several places to sell your valuable coin. First, online auction sites like eBay are a great platform for rare coins. But if you're looking for a more direct route, you might want to sell it through a professional coin dealer or a coin auction house, where specialists will ensure you get the best price. Make sure to do your research and get multiple offers, as prices can vary depending on the buyer and market conditions. But with the right coin and a little patience, you could be walking away with an incredible payday. To sum it up, if you've got a 1989 D mint Mark Lincoln penny in your collection, it's time to take a closer look. With the right minting error, this little penny could be worth a small fortune, possibly even millions. So, check those change jars, inspect your coins carefully, and who knows, you might be holding a rare treasure right in your hands. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends who might be sitting on a gold mine. Stay tuned for more coin tips and valuable information coming your way soon. Have you ever wondered if that old penny you found in your coin jar could be worth more than just 1 cent? Well, today we're talking about a coin that's currently making waves in the world of numismatics, specifically the 1988 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1 cent penny. Stick around, because you might be sitting on a gold mine. Welcome back, coin collectors and enthusiasts. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an exciting update on coin values, rare finds, and how to make money from your old coins. Now, let's dive into today's topic, the mysterious 1988 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny and why it could be worth up to $1.8 million. On the surface, the 1988 D penny may look like any other regular coin in your pocket. After all, it was minted in the millions, and it was a part of the standard US circulation. So why is it worth such an astronomical amount? Well, here's where the story gets interesting. Most 1988 D pennies are worth, well, 1 cent, just like any other penny. But every now and then, a coin comes along that's been marked by history, with a unique flaw or feature that makes it incredibly rare and valuable to collectors. So, what makes the 1988 D penny so special? First, let's talk about the coin itself. The D Mint mark means it was produced at the Denver Mint. But in 1988, something unexpected happened. A very small number of these coins left the mint with a notable error, something that turned them into highly sought-after collectibles. This rare error coin, known as the 1988 D close AM penny, has an interesting feature. When it was minted, there was a mistake that caused the letters A and M in America on the reverse side of the penny to be too close together. It's this subtle but significant error that makes this coin incredibly valuable. See this? On the left, you have the regular 1988 D penny. But over here on the right is the rare 1988 D close AM penny. If you closely examine the AM on the reverse side of the coin, you'll notice the letters are much closer than they should be. That's the telltale sign of the error. So why is this error so important? Well, rare error coins like this are highly prized by collectors, and demand for them can drive prices through the roof. In fact, a 1988 D close AM penny was sold at auction for a staggering $1.8 million. Now, you might be thinking, how can I tell if my 1988 D penny is worth that much? Let's break it down. Text appears with bullet points as the host speaks. Here are the key things to look for when you check your pennies. Examine the back of the penny closely, particularly the word America. On a regular 1988 D penny, the A and M in America should have a noticeable gap between them. In the error coin, the A and M will be unusually close together. The better the condition of the coin, the higher its value. If your penny is in mint condition with no visible wear, it could fetch a higher price. If you have a 1988 D penny, don't just throw it away or ignore it. Take the time to check the reverse side and look for that close AM. And if you do find one, you could be holding onto a coin worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. Now, while it's extremely rare to find a 1988 D close AM penny, it's not impossible. Many collectors and coin enthusiasts have found rare, high-value coins in their pockets, coin jars, or even at garage sales. And the best part? You don't have to be a professional to identify them. If you've got old coins lying around, take a closer look before you sell them or trade them in. Who knows? You could be holding onto something worth a small fortune. When it comes to selling rare coins, always make sure to, if you think your coin might be worth something, consult a numismatist or a professional coin dealer for an expert evaluation. Some of the highest prices are achieved through auctions, so do your research on the best auction houses. If you believe you have a rare coin, take your time and make sure you get the best deal. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you learn more about the valuable 1988 D penny and how you could potentially find coins worth big money. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more content like this. And remember, check your change, because you never know what you might find. We're talking about a rare 1983 Lincoln penny that could be worth up to $1.3 million. This isn't a gimmick, and it's not just about a rare mint mark. It's about a fascinating error that happened back in 1983 that only a handful of people know about. So first things first, let's talk about the penny itself. In 1983, the U.S. Mint was producing the Lincoln cent using a copper-plated zinc core, a change they made in 1982 to save money. Before that, pennies were mostly copper. But here's where it gets wild. A small number of 1983 pennies were mistakenly struck using the older, heavier copper planchets, the metal discs used for coins. These rare copper penny errors look just like regular pennies, but they weigh more and are worth a fortune. The key here is the weight. A regular 1983 penny made with zinc weighs about 2.5 grams. But the rare, valuable ones? They weigh about 3.1 grams because they're made from copper. So grab a jeweler's scale, you can get one online for under $10, and start checking any 1983 pennies you have. You're looking for one without a mint mark. That means it was minted in Philadelphia. That weighs around 3.1 grams. Only a few of these copper 1983 pennies have ever been confirmed. One of them sold at auction for $23,500 back in 2013. But today, with collectors going wild for rare coins, experts estimate a perfect condition example could fetch up to $1.3 million. That's because this coin is what's called a transitional error, a mix-up during a change in the metal composition. And transitional errors are extremely collectible. Okay, so let's say you find a 1983 penny that weighs around 3.1 grams. Don't clean it, don't alter it. Just protect it. Place it in a plastic flip or a coin holder. Receipt next. Get it verified by a trusted grading company like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate and grade the coin, which adds huge value at auction. Then you can list it through a high-end auction house like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or even eBay, but only if it's certified. One man in Texas found a rare 1983 penny in a bulk bag he bought from a bank. After weighing and grading it, it sold for over $15,000. That's a life-changing amount of money from a single coin. And remember, these errors were never supposed to exist, so every new discovery adds to the mystery and value. Check your change or coin jars for 1983 pennies. Use a digital scale. You're looking for 3.1 grams no mint mark? Even better, it's likely from the Philadelphia Mint. Protect the coin. No cleaning, get it graded before you sell, even if you don't find this exact coin. There are dozens of valuable error coins out there. Start looking. Your pocket change might be worth more than you think. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I've got more videos coming on rare coins, how to sell them, and what to watch for. And hey, if you find a valuable coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Today, I'm going to show you how a simple 1982 Lincoln penny, yes, the kind sitting in your change jar, might be worth up to $1.2 million. If you've got old coins lying around, this is one you do not want to overlook, especially if it has no mint mark. So what makes the 1982 penny so special? Well, that year was a turning point in U.S. coin history. The U.S. Mint changed the composition of pennies mid-year from 95% copper to a cheaper zinc-based core with just a thin copper coating. Cut to side-by-side images of copper versus zinc pennies. That means in 1982, there are actually 7 different varieties of the Lincoln cent. Some are copper, some are zinc, and some have small dates, some have large dates. Face with monocle, but here's the kicker. There's one ultra-rare variety. A 1982 penny with no mint mark, a small date, and made of copper. That's sold at auction for $18,000, and another is rumored to be worth up to $1.20 million. Direct hit. So how do you know if you've got the $1 million penny? Here's what to look for. No mint mark. Look just below the date. If there's no D or S, it was made in Philadelphia. Small date versus large date. The small date version has thinner numerals and a lower 2. Use a magnifier if you need to. Copper composition. A copper penny weighs 3.11 grams, while the zinc version weighs just 2.5 grams. Use a digital scale, they're cheap online, or visit your local coin shop to weigh it. If your 1982 no mint mark, small date penny weighs around 3.11 grams. Congratulations! You might have found a rare copper variety, and that's where the big money is. In 2017, a coin expert discovered a rare 1982 D small date copper penny, which was not supposed to exist. That coin sold for $18,000 plus, and experts believe if more are discovered in perfect condition, the value could skyrocket, potentially up to $1.2 million. Fire, that's why collectors are on the hunt for any 1982 small date copper coins with or without mint marks. Package, think you've found one? Don't clean it, don't even try to polish it. That lowers its value. Verify weight and details using a magnifier and digital scale. Compare your penny to online reference images, NGC, PCGS, or coin community forums. If it matches the rare variety, contact a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Get it certified and appraised, and you might be looking at thousands or millions. Lightbulb, even if your penny isn't worth $1 million, some 1982 variations still sell for $50 to $300 plus, so it's worth checking every single one. Party Popper, so there you have it, one of the most valuable modern coins hiding in plain sight. A simple 1982 penny could literally be your ticket to financial freedom. Speech Balloon, have you ever found a rare coin in your change? Let me know in the comments. And if you have a 1982 penny, tell us the weight. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you love discovering hidden coin treasures. And if you want more videos on coins that could be worth thousands, check out the next video right here. Point to screen overlay. Today, we're diving into one of the most shocking coin discoveries ever, the 1971 D. Lincoln penny that sold for a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 1-cent coin that made someone a millionaire. Bell? Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you love learning about rare and valuable coins you might already have. The 1971 D. Lincoln cent was struck at the Denver Mint, which you can tell by the little D mint mark just under the date on the coin. Now, in general, this coin is pretty common. The US Mint produced over 2.8 billion of these pennies. Most are worth just 1 cent, maybe 2 or 3 if you're lucky. But here's where it gets interesting. Some rare varieties and errors can be worth thousands, and in one mind-blowing case, over $1 million. In recent years, one 1971 D penny made headlines after it sold for $1.1 million at a private auction. Why? Because it was a unique, rare mint error, a copper coin mistakenly struck with proof dies intended only for collector coins. That means it wasn't just an error, it was a one-of-a-kind mistake that slipped past the US Mint. And to make it even more valuable, the coin was in nearly perfect condition, professionally graded as MS 67 plus red, which is incredibly rare. So let's break down what made this coin so special, and how you might find one like it. This coin was struck using proof dies by mistake. Proof coins have a mirror-like background and sharp details, very different from regular circulation coins. Coins graded MS 65 and above are already valuable. MS 67 plus red? That's almost unheard of for a 1971-D.IT was the only known example of this kind, and collectors pay big for one-of-a-kind items. Now I know what you're thinking, how do I check MY 1971 D pennies? Here's what to do. Look for the D mint mark under the date. That tells you it's from Denver. Examine the coin under bright light. Does it have a mirror-like finish and extremely sharp detail? Could be struck from proof dies. Check condition. Any scratches, discoloration, or wear will lower value. But a red, shiny, almost flawless penny. That's gold. Get it graded. Use professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you the true condition and value. Even if yours isn't the $1.1 million version, don't worry. There are other 1971 pennies worth serious cash too. Moneybag 1971 double die obverse, no mint mark. Some of these are worth $500 to $1,500 or more. Moneybag high-grade 1971 D cents, MS 67 and above. These can fetch $100 to $500 plus depending on market demand. If you think you've got a valuable penny, here's what to do. Brain research similar coins sold. Online, sites like eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections. Memo, get it appraised by a coin shop or professional numismatist. Package, send it for grading, especially if it looks flawless or has unusual features. Money with wings, listed at auction. Rare coins do best when collectors can bid against each other. So, the next time you're digging through your old change jar or helping a relative clean out the attic, keep an eye out for that humble 1971 D penny. It just might be the $1 million mistake you're looking for. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Today, we're diving into the 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, a tiny coin with a massive price tag. One recently made headlines by selling for $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny. Stick around because I'm going to tell you what makes this specific penny so rare, how to tell if you have one, and what your old change might actually be worth today. So let's rewind a bit to 1968. The U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies that year across 3 different locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D; and San Francisco, S. But here's the twist. While Philadelphia didn't use mint marks back then, there's a particular no mint mark 1968 penny that's catching collectors' eyes and wallets. This isn't just any ordinary coin. It's a rare error coin, likely produced under extraordinary circumstances. Only a handful are believed to exist, and that scarcity is exactly why collectors are willing to pay big bucks. We're talking 6 or 7 figures. So what makes this 1968 no mint mark penny worth $1.8 million? Rare mint error. Some believe this coin was mistakenly struck with proof dies intended for San Francisco, but without the mint mark. Exceptional condition. The $1.8 million penny was graded MS-67 red, which is near perfect. Coins in pristine condition are far more valuable. Collector demand. Serious collectors will pay top dollar for ultra-rare coins, especially when only a few are known to exist. The 1968 no mint mark penny that sold for $1.8 million was kept in a private collection for years before it was even authenticated. Okay, let's get to the part you're all waiting for. How can you tell if you have one of these rare pennies? Look just below the date. If there's no D or S, you might have something special. The shinier and more perfect the coin looks, the better. Red color is ideal. Sharp lines, clean strike, no doubling or damage. Get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC if you think it's rare. Just because your penny says 1968 and has no mint mark doesn't automatically mean it's worth millions. Most are still worth just 1 cent, maybe a bit more. But if the coin shows signs of high-quality strike and color, it's worth checking. Let's look at some recent real sales to give you a sense of the market. A 1968 no mint mark Lincoln Cent MS-67 red. Sold for $1.8 million in a private sale. A similar coin in MS-66 red. Sold for $126,500 at auction. Even lesser quality examples, if rare enough, have fetched $5,000 to $15,000. The market for rare coins is on fire right now, especially with inflation and more collectors investing in tangible assets like gold, silver, and yes, rare coins. So, if you think you've got a potential winner, here's what to do next. Handle with care, wear gloves or use tweezers. Don't clean the coin. Take good photos, clear, well-lit shots of both sides. Send it to a grading service, like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC. Get a second opinion. Reach out to a local coin shop or numismatist. List it for auction. Use reputable platforms like Heritage Auctions or Great Collections. Even if it's not the million-dollar coin, some 1968 Lincoln pennies can still be worth $10, $50, or more, especially in high grades. So now you know, the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln Cent might just be the most valuable penny in your pocket. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more coin treasure hunts. Got an old jar of coins lying around? Drop a comment and let me know what you've got. Maybe I'll feature your find in the next video.